Hello students, in the previous class we have discussed the resistance, resistor and inductor, their corresponding energy storing and as well as the power. Now we will in this capacitor topic we will discuss what do you mean by capacitor, what is the units of capacitance, as well as voltage, current, power, as well as energy stored in the capacitor. Let us define what do you mean by capacitor. Capacitor is denoted by capital C. Capacitor is denoted by capital C. This is what the capacitor symbol is. Capacitor is a device that stores electrical charge. So it is defined as C. It stores energy in the form of electric field. Okay. Now the capacitance is defined as capacitance is defined as the ratio of the charge transferred from one plate to the other plate. One plate to the plate means this is what one plate, one positive plate, one negative plate. Amount of charge or the ratio of charge transferred from one plate to the other plate of capacitor. Okay. To that potential difference produced between these two plates. So that potential difference will produce between these two plates. That implies potential difference produced between these two plates. Potential difference produced between the plates. Okay. So the definition will goes like this: C is equal to Q upon V. C is equal to what? Q upon V. Okay. What do you mean by C? C is nothing but the capacitance of a capacitor. Capacitance of a capacitor. And what do you mean by Q? Q is nothing but the amount of charge transferred from one plate to the other plate. Amount of charge transferred from one plate to other. Okay. What do you mean by V? V is nothing but the potential difference. Potential difference between the two plates. Okay. That implies as I already said you, the current through the capacitor is nothing but CI dV. How to find this value? Current through the capacitor, differentiate the voltage by multiplying the value of capacitance. Nothing but current through the capacitance is equal to C times differentiate the voltage with respect to time. Okay. From this, let us take this as equation number 2. Let us take this as equation number 2, and this will be equation number 1. Okay. Let us rearrange equation 2 as dV is equal to 1 upon C integration, sorry, not integration, 1 upon C I into dt. Agree? I into dt. Let us take this as equation number 3. Okay, now integrate on both sides. Integrate on both sides. What we get here? That implies integration of dv is equal to integration of 1 by c I dt. That implies what is its value? Integration of dv will be, let us consider the same values from 0 to t. Integration will be, okay, why it is from 0 to t? Because capacitor does not allow this sudden change of voltages. If it goes, then the denominator will be what? Infinity. So for that reason it should be taken from 0 only. That implies v is nothing but v of t minus v of 0 is equal to then what we get here? 1 upon c integration of I dt from integral limits from 0 to t. Okay, let us rewrite this equation as v of t is equal to 1 by c integral 0 to t I dt plus v of 0. What is this v of 0? V of 0 is nothing but the initial charge across the capacitor. Okay, initial voltage across the capacitor, sorry, this will be nothing but initial voltage across the capacitor. I hope you understand this point. That is what the v of t. Then we have to find the value of power, no? What do you mean by power? Power is nothing but the product of voltage and current. Power is nothing but power absorbed by the inductor. Power absorbed by inductor. Is power absorbed by the inductor is nothing but power P is equal to V into I. Power P is equal to what? V into I. We remember the formula, right? Current through the capacitor is nothing but C times differentiate the voltage. At the starting of the derivation we have written there. Substitute the value of this I over here. This value will be substituted over here. V into what is the capacitor? What is the current through the capacitor? C times dV by dt. So that is nothing but the power value. Power P is equal to V into C into dV by dt. V into C into dV by dt. So this will be what? Equation number 3. Now we require to find the value of energy, no? So that is what? Power, then followed by third case is energy. Energy stored in the capacitor. As I already said, energy is nothing but integration of power over a period of time. P dt. What is this P? Let us say this equation as 4. Substitute equation 3 in 4. Then what we get? Energy is defined by capital W. That implies energy will be what? Over a period of time. What is power? Power P is equal to V into C into dV by dt into dt. If you simplify this, what we get here? This dt and this dt will be get cancelled here. Integral 0 to t V into C into just dV. Then C will be a constant. Integration from 0 to t V into dV. then what we get here, C into V square by 2. C into V square upon 2. We will be what? Removing the initial conditions across the capacitor, considering them as a 0. No initial charge across the capacitor. For that reason, we will be considering this as V of 0 will be what? 0. So you will get only V of t. That is, energy stored in the capacitor. Energy stored in the capacitor is nothing but half times CV square. This can also be written as, this is also written as half times C into V square is the energy stored in the capacitor. I hope you understood this point. The units of this energy will be joules. Okay, I hope this is clear for everyone. Thank you.